Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Thursday, February 2nd, 2023. It's 10:22 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. And after the FOMC meeting yesterday, definitely the market and crypto kind of pumped a bit. So let's take a look at that because as you may have noticed, things are doing well. So I guess when the bears come to Bitcoin, Bitcoin says, "Not today, bears, not today." If you know the reference, and that's definitely the case. So all my sad friends are just waiting around, talking about, when they're going to short and such. And there's a point to that, but I will say this is a beautiful day, beautiful time. The world could use a break, and so could crypto, and this is nice. So today, at least, is a pretty darn good day. BitcoinDailyView.com got more for you there. Definitely get some Patriot Pantry. It's amazing stuff. I have a big old closet full of it back there. Have your preps ready because if you hadn't noticed, they want to be rid of us. So make ready. All right, FinViz, looking at this. The Dow is down 0.49. NASDAQ is up, 2.9. And S&P 500 is up 1.34. So interesting day in the market. If we drill down into the S&P 500, because, well, way of the S&P 500 is the way of Bitcoin, it does seem. Technology sector is up. Semiconductors definitely up. Communications are up. And consumer cyclical are up. So Tesla up 6.14%. I like seeing that. Microsoft up 3.42%. Don't care about that. Apple up 2.97. Way to sell those Apple Watches. And Nvidia up 1.45. I like that. So drug manufacturers not doing so well. Oil and gas integrate not doing so well. Healthcare plans not doing so well. Rest of the market is kind of a mix of red and green. So anyway, nice day for the S&P 500. Tech sector definitely leading the way there as one of the leading sectors there. I have a little bit of trouble here with this guy. But anyway, looking at 15-minute candles, looking at Bitcoin, you can see this morning when it moved up a little bit, definitely wrecked a lot of shorts. Been seeing some big sells come in. I'm definitely seeing some pressure right now. Looks like the bears want some vengeance, and they kind of want to get their shorts in. So they probably will today, so be careful. Looking at the top like 20, 30, 40, 50, 40 exchanges, looking at all the top exchanges, all the big ones, especially really like the top 20 or who to me really matter here. We're all up. We're all in the green. It's a beautiful thing to see. Let's check out derivatives. My goodness, derivatives coming in at a 66.5 billion on Binance. 50 billion is a good day. 60 is an amazing day. 70 off the charts. Definitely up 83% last 24 hours, coming in at 66 billion 500. That is massive. So we definitely have leverage AF going on Binance. So just got to see which way it's actually trending. Is that trending towards bull or bearish, longs or shorts? I didn't really check that out. So sorry, I didn't do that beforehand. So I don't know, but my guess is they're probably shorts. We can look at the bias over at Blockchain Whispers and see which way it's going. Bitcoin coming in at 23,819 this morning, and the top 100, most of them were all deeply in the green, being above 20% today. It's not out of style. FTM up 25%. Immutable X, a cool project. IMX is up 24%. Ethereum Proof of Work up 37%. Optimism is definitely up 33.9%. So we definitely got some big players today. I like that. And a lot of alts are in all kinds of crazy states. Many that were in upwards channels have actually kind of returned to their upwards channel or close to it. So this is a nice day. Definitely some upwards momentum. So a little bit of easy long money to be made today. I hope everybody kind of grabbed a little bit of it. Something that I did not do that I really kind of want to do. And sorry, I usually do this before I start out here because I know it's just kind of a waste to sit here and watch me do this. Oil, right here, U.S. oil spot. I'll try to rock this real quick at this setup because I think this is something really to look at, especially today. Let me just set this up here. Sorry for the delay in the action. It's on a daily. Let me fire up this template, this over here. All right, so looking at up here top in the middle, up at the DXY there. DXY, how's that looking? Still in its downwards channel, of course. DXY having a green day, so that's surprising that the market's doing so well. But don't worry, the dollar strength index will have its vengeance before long. Looking at oil, definitely a red day for that. Looking at SPX, even though we already looked at it, let's just look at a bar chart here on the daily. SPX, one thing I like that I'm seeing here is SPX definitely is above the 200 moving average, and it just on the daily chart just burst above the 314 moving average. If it could hold that, that's a big deal, at least to me. Down here, I want to look at, I forgot to look at down here. Oh yeah, it's Bitcoin, BTC, USDT. Just to kind of see it on a daily chart. And here's a big thing too, big deal. And talk about like, how do we have two charts here? This is really wild looking. What's going on? I'm not sure. What did I do? Anyway, what in the world? Anyway, sure, this is unique looking. How's that happening? Wild. All right. Well, anyway, looking at Bitcoin here, just as the S&P 500 has burst above the 314 moving average on the daily, so it appears has Bitcoin wicked above it. So we'll definitely take a closer look at that very shortly. Look at gold. How's gold doing today? Gold, big dump in red candle today. Then how about its little friend silver? Silver, big old red dump day today. So good that Bitcoin's holding in there. It's probably following the S&P 500. So anyway, there's the big look at things. Let's keep rocking here. I wanted to fire up this. I forgot to fire up this one over here at cryptometer.io. Cryptometer.io. Yeah, 12.9, basically 13 billion in trading volume. That's about right for today, especially with the move up. So we definitely have beautiful volume coming in. Looking at blockchain whispers to get a breakdown of the longs versus shorts. So longs for Bitcoin, 47%, and shorts for Bitcoin, 52%. So a short bias for Ethereum, 48% long, and then 51% short. So for both Bitcoin and Ethereum on Binance, what the big volume is, we're definitely seeing longs, a slight short balance. I kind of need to start looking at Bybit, because I think they're kind of a big player in the leverage market these days. I'll start pulling them into. Here's the deal. This is an hourly chart. If I kind of make this a little bit small here, I was just doing a Fibonacci sequence recently off of, because starting back here around like 18th of January. So it's been moving up for a while, and I could make a bigger sequence, but we did. We did turn into our red Madrid ribbons, EMAs here back on the 18th of January, and then we corrected from that up towards the green. So this is just, to me, a good spot. It tends to fix. It tends to fit as far as drawing a Fibonacci sequence. I'm just going to stick with that. And, we definitely just recently, yesterday, we got above a previous recent high. And this is kind of groovy because this puts us back in the game. So we broke above it, as you can see. So you got your, let's say our lower low here, or a low here. Then you have a higher low, then about the same low. But now you're getting back into kind of higher low territory. So that's kind of an exciting thing to see. And of course, here you got high. You have a higher high. So we're kind of doing a channel which is looks something like this. This is an hourly chart, but if we kind of look here, boom. I guess you can put it all the way down to here if you want to, but I'm going to go to here. That makes much more sense. Let me correct this here. And there you go. So kind of shows a nice upwards channel that we have not necessarily broken out of. We didn't really get, well, I'm making a new bottom. So actually, you could kind of say that the channel was sort of like here. We definitely kind of got out of it a little bit towards the downside, got at this 382 fib, but now we're back in the channel, back above the heartbeat of the channel in the middle. And it's just kind of in general looking good. We'll see what happens. The directional index down here is in the red now. We're cooling off a little bit. Squeeze indicator has not quite given up yet. Definitely has some nice volume coming in today. Let me actually fire up this chart like this. Get my volume. Yeah, you can see this morning definitely had some, of course, here's the volume that pumped it. yesterday, but you can definitely see some buy sell volume has come in here recently. So bulls and bears are, fighting for their position. So we'll see what happens. Looking at the 45-minute chart, which to me is just great for immediate price action. We're above the 314, the 200 with a strong break. I like seeing that. Squeeze indicators beginning to chill. Directional index is already in the red. We have some nice volume coming in. So we'll see what happens. It could go, we're in pump territory right now. But, if I was to delete all this stuff, boom, get rid of all those drawings. Let me actually grab a 4-hour chart here. 4-hour chart's incredible because it's so well above the 200 moving average. I love what I'm seeing there. 4-hour chart kind of shows, like with the squeeze indicator, that we might just be getting started. And directional index is in the right spot. Nice little volume spurt. So really, the 4-hour chart is looking kind of good. And if I wanted to be slightly creative with an upwards channel, well, that's a little bit. You know what? I'll just draw it. There we go. I think that's legit. I mean, that'll work. So we kind of have a nice upwards channel going here in the 4-hour chart. I like what I'm seeing. I mean, you really can't complain about that. It's beautiful. Nice break above the 200 moving average. You can see it right there. The blue diamond, that's a 314 and 200 moving average break above within like 2 to 3 candles we did. And ever since then, rocket ship to Pluto. So even with the recent volatility, and as you can see here, I can do another you remember how I mentioned, I wonder, let's actually look at that. Yeah, see, so I'm going to nix this upwards channel here. Let me do one of these parallel channels here. Like, you can kind of see where we had a channel going there, or I call them accumulation zones. I guess you could say this is one too. But yeah, there you go. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. This is an interesting day. I mean, is Bitcoin going to make another step up? We'll see what happens. These indicators look pretty darn nice. Let's look at a daily chart. This is a huge deal to me. I mean, this is a big deal of February so far. This is the big deal. Okay. Do beware, because I do see here on the, this is the only place I even look for it anymore. Really, the directional index is just absolutely magnificent for diversions, I find. So on the daily chart here, we are seeing some bearish divergence. So be careful, because we have this little upwards beautiful channel going here in the daily. It's beautiful. It's nice. I like it. Do dig it though. We above the 200 moving average. That's wonderful. But look at this. We wicked above. We challenged the 314 moving average. And this is definitely where we could see, either if we break above that, that's going to be rocket ship to Pluto Lambo mode, in my opinion. If we can break above that and find support, wonderful. But it's also a place that would be a very, very logical rejection, where either we go sideways for a while trying to get above it, kind of ride below it, keep beating on it like a glass ceiling, and then eventually break above it or get rejected. But, this is one of those days. This is one of those times where it could easily just go like, yes, I'm going this way, or it could get rejected hard, bounce off the 200 moving average. I mean, on the daily, a lot of things can happen. This is in my opinion, like a very volatile moment, because the daily 314, that thing's powerful. So we definitely got above the 200 and just rocked above it, did a step, pumped, doing a nice, I would say pumped above the 200, doing an accumulation zone, pumped, another accumulation zone. Now right there in the 314 moving average. This is really an interesting moment. So slight bearish divergence, or actually outright bearish divergence there. We're not seeing massive volume on the daily right now, even though we're kind of pumping recently. We're not really seeing it we're not seeing like a yellow candle or a red candle here. Green is average, yellow is slightly more, and red is a lot, and blue is hardly any. So this is not just buy sell volume. It's each candle is adding up both buy and sell to show a direction, to show volume. So anyway, let's see what happens. It's all about the 314, in my opinion. I could have called this episode of BitcoinDailyView.com all about the 314 on the daily. If we can get above that, that's going to be massive. So we wicked above it today. Let's see if we can close above it today or tomorrow, whatever. Very, very integral moment right now. This is going to be rejection. It's going to be riding it for a while before it can break above, or it's going to just bam, break above it like it did the 200. Let's see what happens. Most likely, not to say that Bitcoin doesn't have an identity and it does whatever the S&P 500 does, but I think it'll do what the S&P 500 does. As the S&P 500, as we saw back here, actually does get above, it got above the 200 moving average. I'm sorry, about the 314 moving average. Looks like it'll close above it. If it finds support there and keeps going, that's going to be glorious. And of course, Bitcoin, this chart went nuts. Let me actually just, let me make this one Bitcoin. Here we go. BTC USDT on Binance. So why do I have all this? Is crazy. What's going on? What is going on? I can't explain it, people. I have no idea what's going on there. That's wild. Anyway, so SPX is above the 314 moving average, and then the daily 314 moving average. Bitcoin is challenging it. So really, I would imagine Bitcoin's going to probably do what S&P 500 does with it. So if S&P 500 stays strong and stays above the 314 moving average and keeps going, that's going to be very, very bullish about the S&P 500. And in my opinion, if Bitcoin can do it too, very, very bullish for Bitcoin. So I'm going to close this chart because it's haunted. Now, with that said, let's look at some alts. Ones that I've been looking at recently, like Ape versus USDT here. It's a 45-minute chart. As you can see, it's been running up. It's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. It dumped with Bitcoin's volatility recently, but the squeeze indicator is looking good. So is the directional X is actually kind of going potty. This guy is definitely going to probably trend back down for a little bit, but anyway, it broke back above the 200 moving average, back above the mid-range of its channel. So a lot of alts definitely, they're just kind of doing a lot of what Bitcoin is doing. But anyway, this guy was setting up great. I was kind of thinking it might have a little bit more velocity than it's turned out to have, but it kind of made a strong break above the 200 moving average, but then it just kind of went sideways. Now we'll see, is it going to bounce and continue up or what? Indicators are kind of showing more negative than anything else. Let's look at an hourly. Hourly is nice. I like it because, strong break above the 200 moving average. Then it came down, banged it hard. Now it's bouncing. Squeeze indicators in the right spot. Directional index just does not want to party today. But, and neither does the ADX. So this guy has a little bit of some, weak energons going on right now. We'll see how it plays out. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. Do we see any like volume spikes or anything? For our chart, you see the directional index and the squeeze indicator, I should say, is beginning to trend towards the positive. DI and ADX are crap. Not much volume except for this recent little burst here that actually got it back above the mid-range. But it is above the 200 moving average. Had some nice purple candles by Sam. We'll see what happens. I'm kind of hopeful for Ape. I think it'll probably continue up, most likely up this channel. Just that it might retrace a little bit beforehand, before then. So anyway, Ape versus USDT, nice long, Kava versus USDT. This one's kind of exciting. This one really took off this morning. I like that it broke above the 200 moving average. It's nice. Got the little blue diamond merit badge. You got above the 200 and 314. This one's looking great. It's all about going to get back in its upwards channel and then continue. Indicators are nuts on this one. This is an hourly chart. Yeah, I like this one here. Let's look at the 4 hours here. 4-hour chart for this one. Yeah, I like that you can see some nice volume coming in here. 4-hour chart's looking good. It's all about squeeze indicators in the right spot, directional index is in the right spot, ADX is in the right spot. So Kava versus USDT just needs to break back into that upwards, into this original upward channel, and I think it's going to be just friggin' wonderful. So Kava versus Tether. And this is over on KuCoin. It might be different on your exchange, but I think it's going to continue this beautiful uptrend that it had. I think it's already really kind of doing it. It just needs to just continue. I'm going to be kind of a little bit, I'll get more bullish when this guy actually gets back in this upwards channel and then continues rolling. Then I'll be like, maybe that'll be an entry for me. But right now, the market's slowing down a little bit with this morning's pump that it had, but it definitely ain't over. And the alts that kind of got a beautiful long pattern, they can get back into their upwards channel, that can stay above the important moving average, averages that can get a nice uptrend. They're going to most likely continue. Even if Bitcoin, well, hopefully Bitcoin will continue sideways and let the alts just lose their minds. Seeing some nice, oh, look at that. You can see some nice volume here on the hourly chart. Boom, right there. Now we're seeing some volume come in again. Oh, there you go. I see. Look at that beautiful volume, and you can see it increasing like that. That's just gorgeous. So directional X is in the right spot. ADX is in the right spot. Squeeze indicators in the right spot. Kava versus USDT. This guy is just looking grand. I think Kava versus USDT on the hourly. I might actually do an entry on that one after I finish this. I'll have a tight stop because things could turn around really quick. But the way things are pumping, if this guy did get back in his channel, I guess I could do one of these for us. The long position. So if I was to get it right here at the channel bottom, let's say at about here, what are we looking at? I'm gonna put a stop in, like, really, if it doesn't hold that, if it doesn't stay in that channel, I just kind of went out. So just looking at that could be 25% if it gets back to the top of that channel. That's nice and glorious. I like what I'm seeing there. So anyway, that is my take on it. I think that could be really nice. If I wanted to be nuts, I would put the stop below the 200 moving average here on the hourly chart. That's like a 9%, stop loss where you're firing that up. So I think I would just get out quick. If it doesn't work for me, I'm just going to get right out. So I'm going to give it a chance to kind of get back. Even now is a good time, really. So if I was to buy, I'm just going to give it not very much room at all. It's just like 2 or 3%, because really it's either going to do it or it's not, but let's put it right there. So if I was to buy that, with like a 2% stop loss, and then watch this thing. What if you get to the bottom? What if you get to the top of this channel? That's 26%. That's great. Even halfway. If I even kind of went halfway with a trailing take profit, that's 13%. I go to like 10% into a trailing take profit of 5%, and I bet you it'll run right up to the top of this channel before it boots us out. Anyway, that's my kind of trading style. Trade your way, of course, but Kava versus Tether, I like what I'm seeing today. Ren versus USDT. Of course, it dumped hard recently. This is an hourly chart. It burst back above the 200 and the 314 really quick. Got a blue diamond merit badge for that. It's been moving up. Indicators are looking good. Directional index is right. ADX looks like it's beginning to actually maybe. I bet that's going to tangent back up pretty darn soon. This guy's looking wonderful. Do we see some? That's a lot of volume to get it back up there. Volume right now, trend is really kind of low. Got a blue candle there. Let's look at an hourly. Yeah, volume. Well, it's funny. It's pumping along pretty good. Volume's going down though. One to watch. I like what I'm seeing with Ren versus USDT. I like it. Let's look at a 4-hour chart real quick. Actually, I mean, on a 4-hour chart, you could kind of make a nice, a little bit of creative license here. Bam. Yeah. We can go to here, I guess. That's nice. Look at that. 4-hour chart. That's a beautiful, nice looking chart. Squeeze indicator showing we're on the way back up. Directional index is in the green. My guess is the ADX tangent will turn up. And yeah, the volume. Nice volume coming in right now. So Ren versus USDT will probably continue moving. I like what I'm seeing there. Ren versus USDT for our chart looks great. If you were to get in here, if you were, I would just probably just do it, trade it how you trade it. But if I was to do a long position here, boom, you could just kind of go like, if you can get to the top of this channel again, that's like 15%, adjust it a little bit. I would just put a tight stop in it myself personally. I'm not gonna stick around and wait for alts to dump on me. So would I enter this one right now? You know what? On a 4-hour chart, it's looking kind of good. I might just enter that one, kind of set and forget. Maybe not even put a stop in. Just see what happens. Put a stop in here at the bottom of the channel. It's either gonna make it or not. Anyway, guys. With that said. That's about it. Actually, let's look at a couple. Who else was rocking today? One sec. One was doing really well. One versus USDT. We can I'll look on KuCoin. I like looking there because it's more. Binance is its own world. Yeah, this guy's looking great. I mean, look at that. Probably coming in for a retrace now, but looking at one on the 4-hour chart. Oh, that's glorious. Do a channel. Beautiful. Probably going to retrace here. But 1 versus USDT 4-hour chart, that is looking just hot. In fact, kind of looks like it's only just getting started, really. So that's definitely one to watch. Let's look at an hourly chart here. Yeah, probably gonna retrace at this point, but once it kind of finds a bottom again, might be the mid range, the 200 moving average down here on the hourly. It's probably going to continue. That's a nice looking trade. OP versus USDT. Optimism was doing great. Yeah, optimism lost its mind. It's just so optimistic, I get rid of that old Fibonacci sequence, but this thing is insane. Op is just pumping big time. I don't even know how you even deal with this one. I mean, uh, look at a 4-hour chart here. Yeah, things on fire. That's wonderful. Can try to grab a channel on this thing, upwards channel. Boom, boom. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, I mean, kind of a hard one to trade right now because it's pushing so hard. But if we look at it, how does that fit? That's nice. It's gotten far from the moving 8 here on the 4-hour chart. 8 moving average is the red one here. So it's probably going to retrace at this point. But this is wonderful. Got your lows, lower high, lower high, lower high. It blew it there, but now it's pumping. You had high, you had a higher high, higher high, higher high. Then it started to kind of lose it, but definitely it's this one's back in the game. So optimism, 4-hour chart looking really hot. Let's look at the 45-minute real quick. How's the 45-minute looking? 45 minutes almost kind of picking up again. Anyway, I still don't see it getting back unless it actually pumps and makes the top of this channel the new support. I think I'm just gonna just sit on this one, let it be. That's a lot of push. I'm gonna give this one a retrace and see if it's an entry then. Anyway, Ape probably will continue looking pretty good here on the 4-hour chart, like what I'm seeing. It looks good. Kava, definitely. It's probably going to continue back up. I'm just going to let me actually delete that for now. I'm just going to wait and see if it gets back in this channel. If it gets back in this upwards channel and continues, that's at a lot of push recently. So I'm going to wait for an actual break into this channel, maybe come back, find support in the bottom of the channel. If it looks like it's back, I find that coins that actually get back in their upwards channel tend to be very explosive upward movements. I like that. So this one looks like it might do it. Kava versus USDT definitely might be a player. Ren, I like what I'm seeing. This one here is looking great in the 4-hour. That will probably continue, no problem at all. A little far from the 8 moving average, so it may get a retrace before it continues. But as far as long and optimism, needs to retrace first. So really, optimism after a retrace there on the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour, it almost looks like it's just getting going. Like I say, it may break above this top of the channel and then make that support and keep going. But if this one does a retrace here in the 4-hour chart, definitely optimism is a great one. Ren is a great one. I like all these. Kava needs to get back in its upwards channel, but definitely it's looking like a strong player. Ape, it's rounding off, probably going to retrace some, but it's a nice, beautiful 4-hour upwards channel. So we see a lot of alts that are, kind of back in the game, looking good. Let's see what kind of Bitcoin does, what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin has a hard retrace, then all the alts are going to blow it, but we'll see what happens. I mean, in general, looking at the daily chart, so let's look at a 4-hour chart here for Bitcoin. I mean, we'll see what happens. It's either going to, like I say, it's going to make another step and keep going, or it isn't. But really, a huge one for me that I'm really kind of going to be watching here is the daily. We got to see where this closes. The daily 314. If Bitcoin can close above that, that's going to be massive. But like I say, it's either going to pump above and then find support and go, or get rejected, or just go sideways, bounce along the glass ceiling until it breaks it, or it just gives up. Anyway, this is quite a day. I mean, when you get strong movements like this, it kind of puts everything into disarray. And if you catch the pump, great, you caught the pump. But right now, it's sort of like which way are things going to go. So I'm kind of expecting maybe a little bit of a retrace on some of those alts and then a continuation, unless Bitcoin really bites it. But it's kind of hard for Bitcoin right now because it's one of those make or break times. It's either got to break this 314 and keep moving, or it's got to get rejected. It's just or will it scrape along and try to get through that glass ceiling? I don't know. Whew, what a great moment. This is a great moment. This is wonderful. I love what I'm seeing. Very, very powerful stuff. This is great. Okay, that's all. I'm not going to belabor things. I don't want to, waste your time. You got places to go. How's that volume looking? 12 point. Now it's 13.1 billion. Volume is rolling in. S&P 500. How these guys looking here? Dow still down. God, Nasdaq is up 3%. S&P 500 1.34%. These are big numbers for the traditional markets. Big numbers. Massive volume, really nice volume on the big exchanges. That's really something to see. I'm sorry, that's derivatives. Nice derivative volume. Spot volume is just friggin' nuts. It's great. This is a strong day. Bitcoin coming at 23,899, and I think it did break 2,400 earlier over a little bit. Optimism, a big player. Gosh, Loop Ring, ETH POW. Render's looking great. So is CVCX. I mean, just this is a great day. I hope that everybody out there caught some of these gains, because we're probably getting to that sideways point and that retrace point. But as long as Bitcoin can stay sideways, especially breaking that 314 and even just riding the top of it a little bit, before it continues up, this is a great day. This just shows to me, honestly, the optimism in the world. Give the world a chance, and it wants to have a good day. It really does. So this is wonderful. Let's enjoy. We're probably going to retrace at some point. But my hope, honestly, is a sideways Bitcoin for a while that will allow alts just to continue going crazy. That's gains. You can make your USDT, you can make your BUSD, you can make your USDC, or you can make more BTC, whatever you might want to do. Or if you're one of those crazy people that trade against LTC or ETH, then, well, bless you. Keep after it. And before we go, actually, as a matter of fact, let's look at LTC versus USDT. I'm going to look on Binance. You know what? Look at that. What a great looking chart. Let's put a channel on here. Look at that. Bam. Boom. Boom. LTC. I'll tell you, this thing is back. As Jonathan Regan was pointing out over at Blockchain Education, I think we've had institutional money kind of sneaking in the last few months and weeks, because something's going to happen with the Lightning Network, I think. And anyway, boom, that's looking good. Gosh, this is a beautiful setup. Top of its channel right now. Probably going to retrace a little bit or go sideways, kind of waiting to see what Bitcoin does. But LTC, glorious trade, looking straight up wonderful. I love what I'm seeing there. Let's look at ETH real quick. How's ETH doing? Look on Binance on this one. ETH looking great. As you can see, I kind of had an upwards trend going here, which it broke below, and now it's back into. So basically, it's back into the channel that it was running up before, and that tends to in general be pretty darn bullish in my opinion. This is a 4-hour chart here. Direction squeeze indicator is looking good. Directional next is in the right place. ADX is setting up great. Some nice volume coming in. ETH looking great. So anyway, it's a dang beautiful day in the market. So remember, for everybody, for every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, it is the most powerful bet and statement of belief that you bet on, and statement of belief in a beautiful future for humanity. Because remember, for every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, you punch a terrible globalist right in the nuts. So take care. Keep punching, keep stacking.